Dear students, in this session we are going to discuss real valued functions. Now, the last session we discussed what is a function. In general, suppose f is a function from the domain A to the codomain B. Then we define the function. Okay. So now, if this domain B is set of all real numbers, then we say that the function is a real valued function because all the values of f of x will fall in R. Suppose I take one element x in A, then what is the image of x under f? That is called as f of x. The value of the function f, it falls in the real numbers. This is called the value of the function f at x. And this function where the codomain is B, set of all real numbers, then we call that function as a real valued function. That is the definition of a real valued function. So we can write a definition. What is a real valued function? If we define a function from A to set of all real numbers, then f is called as a real valued function. Yes, this is a real valued function. And if you take one element from A, if you take an element from A, then we say that this f of x is called the value of the function. Value of the function at x equals to u. Sorry, x equals to u. So, what is the function at x, which belongs to u. So, this is the basic definition of a real valued function. And if this codomain is not set of all real numbers, if it is not R, then we simply say it is a function. If this R happens to be set of all complex numbers, we say it is a complex valued function. Okay, but we are going to concentrate only on real valued functions in this section and maybe throughout this subject. So now we are going to see what is the sum, difference, product and the quotient of real valued functions. We are going to define the operations on functions. Okay. We studied the operations on sets. Now we are going to study the operations on functions. How to add two functions, what is the difference of two functions, what is the product of two functions, and what is the quotient of two functions. And we are going to define them. How to find the sum? We know the sum of two numbers, product of two numbers, difference of two numbers is known already we studied. Now we are going to do the same like this for functions, two different functions. For that we are going to write one definitions, define it first, how to add two functions and how to subtract two functions. Now if suppose f is a function from A to R, and suppose g is another function from the same set, same domain, you have to see the same domain, and that is also f and g both are real valued functions. You can see here the codomain is, we take two real valued functions with the same domain, see, but they are two different functions. Now we are going to define what is f plus g, same like adding two numbers, how to add two functions. We are going to define f plus g as the function. We are going to define how to add it as the function whose value at x in A, whose value at x in A equals f of x plus g of x. That is, what is sum of two functions evaluated at the x? It's nothing but f of x plus g of x, where x belongs to a, for every value of x belonging to a. Okay. This is how we add two functions. Simply add the function values at the common point from the domain. Very important, they should be in the same domain. Both the functions should have the same domain, and both are real valued functions. Then only this definition holds. And how to write as a set notation? F plus g equals to, always a function can be written as a set of all ordered pairs. Already we discussed. So how to write this ordered pair? See, set of all elements x, comma, f of x plus g of x. We can use this symbol also for ordered pairs. In this author uses this symbol where x belongs to. This is the set notation corresponding to f plus g. And further, it is clearly known that see, if f of x is a real number, because f is a real valued function, g is also a real valued function, therefore any value of the function is also falls in R, belongs to R. This also belongs to R. So sum of two real numbers also set of all real numbers. Therefore f plus g is also a function from A to R. F plus g is also a function from the common domain to set of all real numbers. Similarly, we are going to define what is f minus g. See, they are defining f minus g of x. It's nothing but, they are defining it. This is nothing but f of x minus g of x. Whenever x falls in A. The same thing. See, here they define what is f plus g. Here they define how to find the difference of two functions at a common value, at the common point x. And how to find the product of two functions. So fg of x they define as, it's nothing but f of x into g of x for every value of x in the common domain. See here, for this one, both f and g, the domain is A and the codomain is set of all real numbers. That's why they call us real value functions. Both f and g, both are functions from A to R. So if I say one point is here x, this x is mapped to some point f of x in R. This g map the same x, maybe some point like here, to g of x. Okay. So what is clear is, you have to see that both f and g have the same domain and the codomain is set of all real numbers. Okay. So this is a product. And now if suppose now we are going to define what is the quotient of two real valued functions. If suppose this g of x is non-zero for all x in A, then we define f by g as, see, what is f by g? What is this function? They simply say that this is nothing but f of x by g of x, because this also belongs to R, this also belongs to R, for every x in A. Okay. Very important thing is, this g of x should not be equal to 0 for all values of x in A. Okay. Only then f by g is defined, because if g of x is 0, what happens? The value is undefined. Okay, so this g of x denominator value, this must be non-zero. So this function f by g is defined only when this g of x is non-zero for all values of x in a. See, another thing, here this sum, difference, product and quotient we are defining here, and since this values all falls in real numbers, we are using the addition and subtraction, multiplication and division operations of real numbers, that that operations we use. But if these functions are not real valued functions, suppose this domain, the codomain is not R, then we cannot perform the operations like this. Okay, because these addition, subtraction, multiplication and divisions, these operations are defined on real numbers only. Next, another one definition. Now, suppose if a function is from a real valued function, and suppose c is a real number, c is a real number, then we are going to define the function. What is c times f is defined by, what is c times f? See, they are going to define here, c times f of x. F of x we can find from this function. What is c into f of x? They are going to define it as c into f of x for every x in. Okay. Suppose f is a function from R to R. I am taking both the domain and codomain are R, defined by, so I am defining the function f of x equals to, suppose, x square. So now, what is f of 3? 3 square, because I am taking one value, this x from here, x equals to 3, and the function value will fall here. What is that? F of 3, that is equals to 3 square, 9. So, now as per this definition, what is 3 times f of 3? That is, what is 3f of 3? What is 3f of 3? The c is 3, I have taken like this. So what is the definition? Says this is nothing but 3 into f of 3 is equals to 3 into 9 into 7. Okay, so this is a simple example I given. Like this, you can think about how to find the difference. Everything you can perform. You can take two different functions. You can add two functions, subtract two functions, find the difference between two functions, product and the quotient. But very important, both the function must be having the same domain, and the codomain must be set of all real numbers. That you have to keep in mind. Now we are going to define what is a, we know how to find the maximum and minimum of two real numbers. Now what is the maximum or minimum of two functions? That's the next definition. That is the next definition. If our function f is from a to r and g is a function also from a to r, then what is maximum of the two functions? Then what is the maximum of f and g, and what is the minimum of f and g? Is the function which is defined by, every time the function must be defined. Okay? So what is maximum of f and g evaluated at the point x? It's nothing but you find the maximum of f of x and g of x. That's all. For every x in E. Suppose I take two functions. Examples. Suppose f is a function from R to R, and g is also a function from, it's also a real valued function. I am defining f of x as what? X, and g of x as x square, think like this. So both of them have the same domain, and both of them are real valued. Now I want to find what is the maximum of the two functions. Suppose I want to find what is the maximum of these two functions evaluated at the point 3. Suppose 3. So what is the definition says? How to find the maximum? So you find the maximum of f of x, f of 3, f of 3 and g of 3. F of 3 and g of 3 is equals to maximum of, what is f of 3? So what is f of 3? F of 3 is, see, f of 3 is 3. It's a constant function. Sorry, not a constant function. Identity function we see. F of 3 is 3. What is g of 3? 3 square, 9. So what is the maximum of 3 and 9? So like this. This is a simple example. Similarly, we can define the minimum of the function g. Similarly, the minimum of the two functions f and g at the point x equals to, we find the minimum of f of x and g of x for every x. Now another good example we will take it. Okay. Another one example. See here, I take a function f of x equal to sin x, and you see the domain is 0 less than or equal to x less than or equals to pi by 2, and another function g of x equals to cos x, and the domain is 0 to pi by 2, and define h. H is another function that is nothing but what is the maximum of f and g. See, you can remember now I will show you the graphs now. See here, students can use this calculator for their better understanding of graphs. See here, I am going to combine two functions. Sin x graph, this is a sin x graph. Next, cos x. See, the cos x is in blue color and sin x is a red color one. You can think. Okay. Okay. See, what is the interval given we are discussing for sin x and cos x? What is the domain for both these functions? Not the entire real line. That is from see here, see the domain, both of them from 0 to pi by 2. So here you see this is 0 and this is pi by 2. Only you can see the graph only up to this. Don't consider the graph away from this domain, from negative part as well as after the 0 to. So our graph is up to this. Okay. So what happens? This sin x goes like this and it attains maximum value 1. At what point? Sin 90 is 1. So similarly, cos x is decreasing here. Same interval, cos x decreasing and goes to 0. So in the same interval 0 to pi by 2, sin x is an increasing function and cos x is a decreasing function. So here our question is, we have to find what is the maximum of f and g. So what is the maximum? How can you tell the maximum of the two functions? Here, by seeing here, we are going to divide the entire interval 0 to pi by 2. This one, 0 to pi by 2. This is from here to here. This 0 to pi by 2, we are going to divide into 0 to, what is this? This value is pi by 4. 0 to pi by 4, then pi by 4 to pi by 2. In this interval 0 to pi by 4, what happens? I will zoom it. See, suppose 0 to, just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, now the color has changed. So 0 to pi by 2. This is the interval we are going to consider for both the graphs. And now this is cos x and this is sin x. You can consider only this interval. See, up to 0 to pi by 2, pi by 4, this is pi by 4, x equals to pi by 4. In this interval up to 0 to pi by 4, which function is attaining maximum always? Always cos x is maximum. You can see cos x is always above sin x up to 0 to pi by 4. After pi by 4, what happens? Sin x is always above what? Cos x. So always sin x is the maximum function in which interval? 0 pi by 2 to pi by 4 to pi by 2. So what you can clearly tell now, you can write now here, we are going to find the maximum of the two functions. So that is called as h. So what is h of x? So what is h of x now? This is nothing but cos x. We are going to write as a piecewise function. Cos x in which interval? Up to 0 to, just now I explained, pi by 4. Always cos x is maximum. And this is equal to sin x if the interval is from pi by 4 to pi by 2. That's all. This is the maximum of the two functions. If you want to find the minimum, the same thing you can analyze. From 0 to pi by 4, it will be what? Cos sin x, and pi by 4 to pi by 2, it will be cos x. So like this, you can, a lot of examples you can think of. Now another definition is there. The definition. Suppose if f is a function from a real valued function, then what is the absolute value of the function f? That one we are going to define. Is the function defined by, so they are going to define it. What is absolute value of a function evaluated at x? Is nothing but the absolute value of f of x. Because this value falls in real numbers, we know how to find the absolute value of a real number. Suppose what is absolute value of -3? Just we need the book. What is absolute value of 3? Is 3. We know the definition of absolute value of a real number. So this is a definition. This is true for every value of every element of and we have studied this formula. If a and b are any two real numbers, a and b are any two real numbers, then how to find the maximum of two real numbers? What's the formula available? Difference between a and b, then sum of a plus b, sum of a and b divided by 2. This formula is there. Already is studied in lower classes. Now, how to find the minimum of two real numbers? What is the formula available? What is the formula? Minus of the difference between, minus of the absolute difference between a and b, and sum of a plus b divided by, this is it. Now, similarly, we are defining what is the maximum of two functions. Already we defined, like this formula we can use it for some maximum of two functions also. Nothing but f minus g plus f plus g divided by 2. And what is the minimum of two real valued functions? Minus of f minus g plus f plus g by 2. So definitions, but both of them f and g are real valued functions. So this is the thing. Now the next definition, before going to the next definition, whatever sets we are considering in this section, suppose whatever set we consider, we define a universal set. This is called the universal set. You think like this, universal set. And whatever set we define, suppose A is a set, it's a subset of S. And if what is the complement of the set A, that is A dash, is nothing but this biggest set difference A. These are all basics. Here whatever sets we define, it is defined on the defined under the universal set S. Now for every subset A of the universal set S, we define a function. Now we are going to define a new function. Now we are going to define a function. This is called chi. This is how we spell chi. This is symbol. We write like this. Chi suffix A. This is called a new function we are going to define on this subset A. This chi is defined on the set A to 0, 1. The codomain is not real numbers. It's just contain only two elements, 0 and 1. Okay. So this is how the set is defined. And what is the definition? We are going to see that set. We are going to give the name for this function, that is called as characteristic function. That is the next definition. If A is a subset of the universal set S, then we define chi A. We call it as characteristic function. We call it as a characteristics function. Characteristic function of A. Is defined as, so all they defined is chi A of x equals to, it's a piecewise function, is equals to 1 if x belongs to A and is mapped to 0 if x does not belongs to A. Okay. See here, and here the this one we are going to, sorry, see the function is like this. Here just change here, it is defined on the universal set S. Okay, so now suppose this is the universal set and the domain contains only two elements, 0, the other one is 1, contains only two elements, and my chi A is a function from this to this set, and my A is a subset of this. This is my A. A is a subset of the universal set S. Suppose my x is inside A. So what is the function says? If x belongs to A, this map to what? 1. So all the elements inside A will be mapped to what? This 1. Okay. And if suppose my x falls outside A, then what happens? If x is not belonging to A, the function maps to 0. So all the points outside A will be mapped to 0. So this is what the function does. This is what the function does. So this characteristic function is a function defined on the universal set to 0, 1, where A is a subset of that S, and it's a characteristic function of A. Because the set A is characterized by this function chi A of S. And now we are going to see some more definitions on this characteristic function. Now we have to note that if suppose there are two subsets of S, this both of them are subsets of S. Suppose A is also a subset of S and B is also a subset of S. Think like that. If A and B are equal, if and only if the corresponding characteristic functions are also equal. That is a thing. And now some useful equations we are going to see for characteristic functions. So now what is chi A union B? How to find chi A union B of X? This is nothing but maximum of chi A comma chi B. We are going to prove everything. Next, chi A intersection B is nothing but minimum of chi A comma chi B. And what they say is this is nothing but chi A into chi B. And what is chi A difference B? That's nothing but chi A minus chi B. This is what is chi A dash. It's nothing but 1 minus chi A. What is chi of a universal set? Always 1. What is chi of an empty set? It's always 0. We will prove this one. This last two things are very trivial, because if what is the characteristic function of the full set? So if you take the full set, all the elements, characteristic function of the universal set, everything will be mapped to what? 1. So always chi A, any value you take, the function value will be 1. So that is true. If empty set, what is a chi value of empty set? The characteristic function of empty set. Empty set, it contains no elements. So what is the characteristic value? All the value will be mapped to 0. Okay. No element is present in this. Every element is present outside this empty set. So characteristic function of empty set is 0. So these two things is very simple. We will try to prove the first four equations. Okay.